It was a Friday night, a long week finally over. She had told me earlier that she was tired, had a headache, and wanted to sleep early. I kissed her goodnight and left the house to pick up painkillers and her favorite, chocolate. I wanted to be a caring boyfriend, the one who always showed up. If only I had stayed home. When I returned, the house was quiet, too quiet. The lights were dim, music low, not our usual playlist. It felt off, like something in the air was holding its breath, waiting. I placed the shopping bag on the counter and called out her name. No answer. A strange sound came from our bedroom, a laugh, low and intimate. My chest tightened, but I told myself it could be the TV, a call on speaker, anything but what my heart feared. I walked toward the room. The door was slightly open, just enough to see movement, shadows, two bodies, hers and another man's, tangled in a way that ripped my soul apart in a single glance. My breath stopped. My heart didn't just break, it exploded. She wasn't just cheating, she was enjoying it, right there in the bed where she once promised me forever. I pushed the door open fully, and they froze, the guy scrambling to cover himself. She grabbed the sheets around her. Her eyes weren't full of guilt, they were full of fear, but not the fear of hurting me, the fear of being caught. I stepped back, my voice shaking but loud. Why? She didn't answer. The guy stood up, anger replacing panic. His voice was cold. You weren't supposed to be here. And that was the moment I knew. This wasn't a mistake. This was planned. I tried to walk away. I didn't want to witness more than I already had. But before I could turn, he grabbed something from under the bed, a knife. My girlfriend, the woman I loved, didn't scream, didn't stop him, didn't even move to protect me. She just watched. He lunged forward. An instinct made me shove him back. I stumbled into the hallway, hands shaking, adrenaline taking over. He followed, rage all over his face. You want to ruin our lives? You think you can expose us? He spat. He said us. That word sliced deeper than the knife ever could. I backed away, panic rising like a storm. I didn't want to fight him. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted to wake up from this nightmare. But he wasn't giving me that choice. She came behind him, whispering urgently, do it. Finish it before he calls the police. Finish it. Finish me. My heart stopped. This wasn't betrayal anymore. It was a death sentence. I turned and ran toward the living room, but he was fast. He grabbed my shoulder, and we crashed into the glass table. Pain shot through me as glass cut my arm. I screamed her name, begged her to stop this, but she just stood there like a stranger, cold and distant, as though she never loved me at all. Maybe she never did.
The knife came down toward my chest.
I caught his wrist midair, the blade inches from my heartbeat.
The strength in his arm was terrifying, fueled by rage and the urge to kill. We wrestled, knocking down furniture. My vision blurred from fear and blood loss. He pushed me to the floor, straddling me, knife rising again. All I could think was, not like this, not in the home I built for us, not by the woman I loved. I kicked him with the little strength I had left. The knife flew from his hand, skidding across the floor. He growled, punching me repeatedly. I tried to block him, but everything hurt. Through teary eyes, I saw her, my girlfriend, walk slowly to the knife. She picked it up, and for a second, I thought she might help me, until she turned the blade toward me. You should have never come home, she whispered. Her voice didn't sound like the woman I loved. It sounded like a stranger wearing her face. She lifted the knife, and I crawled backward, slipping on blood. He charged, trying to hold me down. I didn't think. I just moved. I grabbed the edge of a broken table leg and swung it as hard as I could. It hit his temple. He collapsed. My lungs burned as I scrambled up, dizzy and terrified. She screamed his name and ran toward him, then turned to me with pure hatred. You ruined everything. Everything? Our life? Our love? Or her betrayal? I didn't wait to find out. I ran. She chased me toward the kitchen, knife flashing in the dim light. I grabbed the nearest object, a frying pan, and held it out like a shield. Tears blurred my sight as she cornered me. Why are you doing this? I cried. He loves me, she hissed. You were just comfortable, a placeholder, a stepping stone. It was like she took every memory and set it on fire. She moved first, aiming for my chest. I blocked the strike with the pan, metal clashing against metal. The shock numbed my arm but saved my life. I shoved her, and she crashed into the counter. Wind knocked out of her. I didn't want to hurt her, even after everything. My heart still clung to the girl I once loved. But she wasn't that girl anymore. She lunged again, and this time, I swung back. The pan hit her wrist, and the knife fell to the floor. She screamed, more from fury than pain. I ran past her, straight toward the front door, when strong arms wrapped around my neck from behind. He was awake, and angrier than ever. He squeezed, cutting off my air. My vision darkened. I clawed at his arms, desperate to breathe. This was it. I was going to die. But in a final burst of survival instinct, I threw my body backward, slamming him against the wall. He loosened his grip, just enough for me to slip free and grab the front door handle. Locked, my hand shook violently as I fumbled with it. She was coming again. I could hear her footsteps. I unlocked the door. I ran, barefoot, bleeding, heartbroken, and alive.
I reached my neighbor's house and banged on the door until they opened. The world felt unreal, like I was floating outside my own body, watching a movie I couldn't escape. They called the police. Minutes later, though it felt like hours, sirens filled the street. Officers stormed my house. I watched from the neighbor's window as they dragged both of them out in handcuffs. She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She just stared at me with disgust, like I was the one who ruined her life. And in that moment, I realized the truth. Her love was never real. Her loyalty was a performance. Her heart belonged to the darkness long before that night. When the officers asked me what happened, I wanted to tell them everything, but the words wouldn't come. My throat felt shredded, my soul ripped open. How do you explain dying without actually being dead? Months passed. Hospitals. Stitches. Bruises fading, but the scars stayed. The trial was painfully public. Every detail of my heartbreak displayed for strangers to judge. They pleaded guilty. Attempted murder. Conspiracy. Assault. They were sentenced to prison. Justice was served, but it didn't feel like victory. Winning doesn't always heal. I returned to the house eventually to collect my things. Her perfume still lingered in the bedroom. Our framed photos still hung on the walls, smiles that now felt like lies. I smashed every picture. I cried until my body gave up. But one night, as I stood staring at my reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, I realized something important. They took my trust. They broke my heart. They tried to end my life. But I survived. I survived the betrayal. I survived the hell they created. I survived the moment love turned into a weapon. And that means I am stronger than the pain they caused. Healing wasn't easy. Sleepless nights, panic attacks, fear of loving again. But little by little, I started to rebuild. I went back to the things I once enjoyed: friends, hobbies, quiet walks at sunset. I started choosing myself again. One day, I passed by the prison where she was locked away. The thought used to haunt me, imagining her behind bars. But now, it brought me peace. She couldn't hurt me anymore. And the more I lived my life, the less power those memories held over me. The betrayal would always be part of my story, but it would not be the ending. Because my story didn't end on that bedroom floor. It started there. The moment I fought for my own life, I fought for my future too. I still believe in love, just not the version she showed me. Love is supposed to feel safe. I know one day I will find someone who deserves the heart. I have a heart that suffered but survived. A heart that still knows how to care. Sometimes the person you love the most becomes the lesson you never forget. Sometimes the darkest betrayal leads you to the brightest future. And sometimes, the night you almost die becomes the night you truly learn to live. To watch more videos like this, subscribe, like, and share.